Starring myself, Dolph David, the sistest with the mostest. Still working on a catchphrase for myself. Haven't gotten one yet. With me, as always, the co-host of Yaddle, Chattle, the light side of the Force. We know him as Jedi Jared.
Hello, everyone. How are y'all doing today?
Oh, my God. You're now one of these y'all people? I refuse to say y'all. I refuse to tweet y'all. I'm not going to be saying y'all. The fact that y'all went from some hillbilly goddamn fucking word, you know, in the 1860s to now all of a sudden every single person in the goddamn country of America says y'all.
Well,
y'all.
At least
sounds like the goddamn Midnight Riders here. What's up, y'all? Come on, baby. Let's talk a little Star Wars, Daddy. To the top of the Death Star and the bottom of the canyon. Specifically, the canyon on Tatooine. Beggar's Canyon back home, Daddy. From the top of the Death Star to the bottom of Beggar's Canyon, the Midnight Rider's gonna show each and every stormtrooper just how fierce the Midnight Rider is, baby.
You just made a lot of people very...
Come on, y'all! It's the Midnight Rider saying, I don't know if you got a Tharlak pit. I don't know if you got a Rancor monster, Daddy. I don't know if you got Yoda. I don't know if you got Yaddle. But one thing you got with Midnight Rider is the light side of the Force, baby. That's right. I ain't no Jedi. I ain't no Sith. Oh, I got one more silver dollar. And they ain't gonna let me catch me, no. They ain't gonna let me catch Midnight Rider.
You just made a lot of people very
You just made a lot of people happy. You just made a lot of people happy.
I didn't make anyone happy. But
okay?
At least I'm justified with y'all because Padme is from the South. So.
I hate that. I hate that everyone in the universe is saying y'all now. I know people from goddamn. Listen, we're from New Jersey, obviously, if you couldn't tell, and I know people from fucking North Jersey, where The Sopranos is based, now saying y'all.
Well,
can you imagine if fucking Tony Soprano, and you know, he's sitting there, he's eating his gabagool, and he's like, Silvio, AJ, Furio, y'all need to go outside and take care of business.
It would be yous.
Y'all need this. Stop it with the y'all. Can we stop talking in cliches? It's something that drives me crazy. With the Twitter, when the Twitter cliches become the way people actually speak.
I'm not on Twitter.
Do better. That's one that's fucking driving me nuts. Do better.
Problematic.
Do better. Shut up. Do better. You do better. Explain to me how I can do better. Give me a little more fucking details about with which I might do better. Don't just tell me to do better, you condescending prick. Say, hey, X and Y and Z equals you doing a better job at whatever you need me to do a better job at. But don't just tell me to do better. That's another fucking Twitter goddamn thing.
Well, while we're
and the other fucking thing is,
okay.
Don't tell me you're a Sith, or no, tell me you're a Sith without telling me you're a Sith. Right? You see that? Tell me you're blah, blah, blah without telling me you're blah, blah, blah. Stop it with that already. Stop it with the bullshit. And if I see fucking Homer Simpson goddamn meme, go back into the bushes one more time rather than you articulating a thoughtful point from your brain. Okay, communication, using language in order to express your thoughts rather than Homer going back into bushes.
Dave, you sound like
Stop it!
You sound like a boomer.
Fucking Boomer Esiason, man. That's who I am. Fucking Boomer Esiason over here.
Here, to speak to that on this while we're
By the way, this is Yaddle Chattle, a Star Wars podcast, just in case you're wondering what you're listening to. We're off to a fiery start, I suppose.
Before I met Padme when I was dating and online dating, I can't tell you how many women were looking... And this is in Jersey.
Look at the hot shot.
No.
This guy should have been on Studs back in the 90s, okay? Yeah, I'll talk about a Dennis Miller reference. This guy could have been on Studs in 1992, Chachi. He would have been hanging out with some of the contestants from Real World Season 2, like Tammy.
Judd.
All right, go ahead.
Judd.
Tammy was on Studs.
Okay.
That was a fucking specific reference. Tammy from Real World 2 was on the show Studs.
Yeah, but
Judd wasn't on Studs!
I don't
And
care.
Judd wasn't in Real World 2. He was on Real World 3, San Francisco. Continue with your Star Wars point.
Judd was a Batman writer. He's one of my favorite
Continue with
Batman
your
writers.
Star Wars point.
So what I was going to say is...
You don't even remember.
I do remember. No, I can't tell you how many women were looking for a nice country gentleman driving a big pickup truck. Like, this is New Jersey.
You?
No, I don't drive a pickup truck. I don't have big arms. I don't look like Clark Kent.
No.
I'm short.
You
and
are
fat.
the exact opposite of Clark Kent.
I know. I'm short, fat,
You
and bald.
couldn't be more opposite than Clark Kent.
I know.
You're like Danny DeVito to fucking Superman from Twins.
That's fine. I can
You know, you're that composed. Superman is the Schwarzenegger, and you're the little fucking afterbirth that should have never been a human being in the first place. You were supposed to be a fetus flushed down the toilet, but somehow you grew a goddamn brain, and they put clothes on you, and so now you're walking around. But you were supposed to be out of here.
a prom night dumpster baby.
Don't worry, by the way. I was a mistake. My 3 older brothers told me. They said, do the math. You think that adults in their late 30s, in the late 1970s, were looking to have another kid when they had 3 sons already?
I mean, I'm in.
You're a mistake, baby. That's what they told me. My 3 brothers said, you're not supposed to be here. So me and you, we're simpatico in that way. I'm a Sith. You're a Jedi.
I mean, I was planned.
Oh, you were?
I was. I'm the oldest. I'm the first.
So now you're making the fucking Sith feel bad about himself. That's the Jedi way?
No.
I tell you, each and every week, you go more and more to the dark side.
Maybe.
I'm the Sith, you're the Jedi, but your behavior sometimes is quite questionable.
I walk the line.
I walk the line.
Well, that's the whole thing about
in
Mace.
heart of mine.
Mace,
I walk the line.
Mace Windu's purple lightsaber is supposed to be like that kind of thing. It's supposed to symbolize he kind of walks that line.
Yeah, I know. I know what it's supposed to symbolize. He was a very strict adherent to the dogma of the Jedi, and perhaps in his strictness lost the true meaning of what it was to be a Jedi. One would argue that being a Jedi really should have just started and stopped with being a monk. Honestly, like isolate yourselves, be a monk, and then when shit try to seek out other Force users and then steer them to the light side of the path. But as far as joining wars go, that's where the Jedis made their big fucking mistake.
Well,
you know, all of you Jedis
I was
ruined the galaxy.
Okay. Well, you know, I actually just finished Clone Wars, and there's
The animated series.
Yes.
Excellent. I actually just started watching season 5 for some crazy reason.
So I just finished it, and there's basically this arc where Mace and Jar Jar go on like a diplomatic mission.
Yeah, I mean that's not my favorite arc in the world, but go ahead.
No, but like basically it's a gigantic homage to Temple of Doom.
That is true. There's a lot of Indiana Jones influence in the Star Wars animation. That continues with Rebels as well.
But like that particular arc had a lot of like there were Raiders, like the second episode's all a Raiders reference.
Oh,
The
no
first
doubt, no
episode's
doubt.
Temple of Doom.
No doubt.
But there was this one. Well, that those Force users or Force sensitive people are very neutral. They don't like. They're what you're describing as kind of like the monks. That I guess they were supposed to be Indian because they all had Indian accents. But
I mean, they have accents. Doesn't mean they're Indian.
And then
I tried explaining this to someone at work today.
Really?
I was trying to explain to them that Andor is the first adult Star Wars. I guess we should get into Andor talk.
Sure.
Listen, this is going to be an Andor heavy episode, obviously. 3-episode premiere of Andor just came out on Disney Plus, and we're going to talk about it. That's going to be the majority of the show. But I will say this before we get into Andor Speak, that I was trying to explain to the person, this is, the first Star Wars series that is, if not aimed at adults, just has a more adult vibe.
Yeah.
Clearly. And one of the things I was saying to this girl at work was, so there's this one scene where there's this one lady, and then there's this Irish guy, and anyway, something happens, and then the next day, and she goes, "What do you mean Irish? You mean he's from Ireland? I don't understand." I go, "No, he's an Irish guy." Well, how can you tell? I thought this was Star Wars. He has an Irish accent. And then the person kept asking questions. Well, why does he have an Irish accent if there's no Ireland in Star Wars? And then all of a sudden they started to get angry. I'm like, it's just his fucking accent. And the person's like, yes, but what kind of accent is it? I'm going, it's Irish. And she goes, well, then he's from Ireland. Do they talk about Ireland in Star Wars? And my fucking head was going to explode. I go, just because he has an Irish accent doesn't mean he's from Ireland in Star Wars.
You know, you could have just made something up and completely just fucked with her, and it would have been, she wouldn't have known the difference.
But it's not fair.
I mean,
people are allowed to have accents.
Sure.
You got you with the Indian, her with the Ireland. Goodness gracious. When Tarkin was speaking, I'm not a fucking little stupid American singing, is Tarkin on England? Is the Death Star somewhere by London? By fucking Big Ben? No! People have accents.
Yeah.
Continue. What were you going to say? You're done with the Clone Wars talk anyway.
Oh, yeah.
We got to get ready to Andor.
Yeah, we got to talk Andor.
All right, no more nonsense. It's about Cassian Andor and his brand new series, Andor. And I loved this show. I know. I'm going to get shit on it. Maybe. I don't know. I end up liking Star Wars. It's weird. You can't like Star Wars anymore without either being a shill for Star Wars. I go, first of all, number one rule in being a shill, you gotta get paid, baby. If I get no fucking money from Kathleen Kennedy or goddamn Disney, how the hell am I a shill? I just happen to like Star Wars. Something really dawned on me the other day. I go, the way I like Star Wars is similar to the way I like my favorite rock bands. The Rolling Stones can come out with a new album. Right now, I'm saying. And if I like 7 out of the 10 songs, I'm going to love the album. I'm going to say I love this album. Not even like. I'm going to say I love this album. Yeah, so 3 of the songs I don't like. But if I like 7 out of 10, I'm loving the new album. It's a similar grading curve, just for the Dave, man, with Star Wars. If there's enough great Star Wars in it, I can get into this. I love this series right off the bat. Tony Gilroy, number one. Tony Gilroy made the Bourne movies, and he did Michael Clayton. And now with Andor, a Tony Gilroy staple that I am now witnessing in each Tony Gilroy thing, intense, quick walking.
Yes.
When you have a Tony Gilroy show or movie, there's going to be lots of people walking with intensity. They're going to be walking quickly, and they're going to be looking side to side as they walk. They're going to be walking, and they're going to be, making sure no one's following them. They're going to be making sure, is everything on the up and up over here?
It's called a sense of urgency.
Yes. Every single Tony, lots in Michael Clayton. George Clooney was always walking and looking around. Like, is someone over my shoulder? What the hell is happening? And the same thing with Matt Damon. And now you got Cassian Andor walking, looking around over there. He loves a good walk. And maybe someone else is tailing the person. We got some tailings.
A good paranoid.
Paranoid walking. George Lucas always said faster, more intense when it came to acting. Tony Gilroy just says faster, more intense when it comes to walking. That's it. His whole direction style is faster, more intense, only with walking. So he's actually kind of similar with George in that regard. But that aside, I love the series because I believe Tony Gilroy knows how to set up tension.
Yes.
As well as any director out there. Period. Tension.
Well, he's the one writing and producing it, right?
He's the showrunner.
Yeah.
I believe, yes, he wrote the episodes. I believe we're getting different directors. I saw it was a different director. So I think we're going to be getting different directors for the series. But yes, this is a Tony Gilroy series, and this is him.
No, it's definitely there was a little bit of a slow burn the first 2 episodes. But then the third one I guess he needed to build the universe that he was creating.
He's building.
Because it's supposed to be a 13-episode series, right?
I heard 12.
12?
You heard 13. I'm pretty sure it's 12.
Okay, so it's
12 in this season, 12 in next season.
So it's a pretty long series.
They've told us, the outline. And this since they gave us 3 episodes, that could be the end of that little arc. In other words, I don't know how much we're going to be seeing. And so let's go right into it. Right off the bat, I did love the scene with, a couple things are getting Star Wars people talking. And one of the things is the show started off in a brothel.
Yes, well, it's like a red light district.
Definitely a red light district, and definitely a upscale brothel. And that was unique. Okay.
Well, isn't that kind of what, we've talked about this like for a very long time, and it's kind of what the whole thing of The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett were trying to convey. It's just a lot more of the seedier side of the underworld.
No question.
So you have always said, I want to see the underworld. I want to see all of that kind of...
Because we had heard George Lucas had a show called Star Wars Underworld, where that was the idea, that it was going to be, it was going to take place on Coruscant and show all of the crime and the seedy Star Wars underworld. And literally, since I heard about that project, which I guess is never going to happen now, that he sold Star Wars to Disney, nevertheless, it got my imagination running, and I've always thought that's a great idea. But yeah, we're seeing it now, regardless, with Mando and certainly with Andor and stuff like that.
Well, especially with the Book of Boba Fett, in the sense that...
True.
The 5 crime families, I think that is a little more family friendly, and this is kind of like even seedier than like if the Book of Boba Fett's like The Godfather, this is like Scarface.
Yeah,
or,
Goodfellas. Something a little bit. Well, look, it's. I thought, okay, so when he kills those 2 guys, is that his first murder? Because I watched the all 3 episodes twice, and the second time I really focused in on Cassian Andor's face when he learns that he killed the first guy, and that second guy's still alive, and the second guy says, you killed him, and you see his face, and that looks like someone who's never killed anyone before.
I don't know, because and maybe we can get into this now, because I liked the dichotomy between Andor and I kept referring to him as Niedermeyer, because he the
corporate authority, the main guy.
Because
I thought he looked. Other people have pointed this out. It's not just me. I thought he's a dead ringer for Agent Cooper in Twin Peaks. Even acts like Agent Cooper.
Well, I could see that.
Kyle MacLachlan. He looks like a young Kyle MacLachlan.
I can kind of...
But I'm saying acts like Agent Cooper a little bit. Very by the book. Agent Cooper was a nice guy. He was the hero.
Yeah.
And this guy is more the heel.
Well...
But there is they're both very much by the book, very straight-laced individuals.
Well, that's what I kind of called him, Niedermeyer, because he reminded me that...
The pledge pin.
He's the type of guy that all his men would kill, because they just would hate his guys.
I hear you. I love the character, though. I found him to be one of the standout characters. His scenes are good.
You love to hate him.
Yeah,
that's
good.
Great
and
writing.
you don't
and great acting.
And you don't know. He's not a cartoon. You don't know 100% what's going on in this guy's head, because there are times where he's strong and he is cracking the whip and he's telling people what to do. But then they show him choke at least twice. The speech on episode 3. So I guess we're just going to do this haphazardly. Don't worry about it. Let's just do it. Listen, that's what happens when you premiere 3 episodes at the same time, and it's going to get blurry. So let's just talk about this as if they released one hour and a half long movie. So let me just say that later on, he freezes when these fucking guys, they try to catch Andor and Stellan Skarsgård, and then they get away. And he's all like looking around. Remember in the Pudgy one? Is saying, we gotta get out of here. We gotta get leave. Scotty, right. But, so those are 2 times where he froze and he choked.
All right.
So but what I'm saying is, I like that.
Oh, yeah.
Because if he didn't have those choking moments, he would be a little young Tarkin-ish, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but we've seen it with Tarkin. And I felt like he would just be another Tarkin, another kind of Imperial dude. But the fact that there's something else going on, it seems psychological. Also, he didn't crack the whip until, if you look closely, Remember, the first time he really gets intense is when he yells at this computer guy.
The air traffic controller
yes,
guy.
When he yells at the computer guy, he's trying to find Cassidy. And he goes, zoom in, and then and then the guy's like, oh, it's just right there. There's a lot of people come out at nighttime. You can't do anything about it. And he's like, I don't know what's more worrisome, the fact that this has happened or your complacency that this has happened. And you're like, whoa, this guy's a badass. Remember, he doesn't do that until two guys walk past him and laugh. One of the guys laughs and it startles him. Remember?
Yeah.
So is that, I'm assuming, to indicate that this guy was feeling like no one respects him, or there's an insecurity with this character? Because why else would they have shown that this, the guys laugh, he gets startled, and then he's like, I gotta fucking be an asshole. So he's a complicated character, this dude.
Well, yes, but...
Which I like.
Okay, so if we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of it, I think that it's very much...
What else are we going to do on Yaddle Chattle?
Well, no, but...
What are we going to talk about, goddamn Doritos?
So
that's what we do. We get into the nitty-gritty of Star Wars. Let's go, baby.
13 to 15 years up to... Because this is actually the first time they use the time of 5 BBY.
Before the Battle of Yavin.
Which is kind of like the big turning point in the Galactic.
Which I only saw in Timothy Zahn books, I think.
It's always been inferred among the fans, like they talk about, they use BBY as...
Where did it come from? Timothy Zahn?
It might have been, because he also created Coruscant.
He did. All right, go ahead.
So,
also, listen, in Rogue One, they used, as they call them in the business, lower thirds for the planet systems that we were on.
Yeah. Well, the unique...
And I think that's okay. I think that's fine. In fact, one little criticism was they were bouncing back and forth on the planets that I wasn't always sure what planet they were on.
Gotcha. No, I got you.
Because I thought... Yeah, I'm a little confused as to... Because he committed the murder on one planet.
So he committed the Proxima Morena 1, and then he goes back to his actual home planet, like where he lives.
And they're next to each other, probably?
I mean, it's supposed to be...
they're in the same solar system.
Yeah. Or no, I mean, relatively speaking, it's kind of like driving from state to state.
No, I understand.
So,
I'm just saying. So, but
not so much.
I wouldn't mind if they kept the planets going sometimes, honestly, because I wasn't sure. So the junkyard
is a different planet.
Different planet. Okay.
So,
so then just never go back to the planet where you killed those two guys.
Well, he wasn't planning on it. Here's the thing, like, we see what's happened, that the Empire has gotten so big and bloated that it can't manage everything.
Right.
So this is taking place on a corporate planet, and there's corporate bureaucracy. Right. So you have that chief guy, and he's just
I like. Okay, wait.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about the corporate authority. What is their name? I'm calling them the corporate authority, but that's maybe me being a wrestling fan combining Vince McMahon's the corporation and then Stephanie McMahon's the authority.
So
what is their name?
It was like something the Morena Corporation.
All right, but let's just call them the corporation for now.
Well, yeah.
What do you think about the corporation?
I think it's great.
I love the corporation
because it's very reminiscent of like Alien.
I think the corporation is okay. I can see that, but I just think that
it's a corporate.
It's something that would exist in Star Wars without being awkward, lame, modern day shit that's put into Star Wars. I don't like when they put in something that feels too contemporary into Star Wars,
like
thereby ruining the whole ancient aspect of it. But a corporation
that owns a planet.
Yes,
they control like it's a company store.
It makes sense. And also, what I loved about it was I was looking at their technology very, very closely, and I thought it was really. I thought the corporation was done well, because if Star Wars had computer graphics that were slightly innovative in 1977, the whole look at the Death Star and then the X-wing going over the thing and stuff like that. I was looking closely at the corporation's graphics, and they seemed like, their graphics were more mid-60s. Whereas, I mean, I'm talking earthly mid-60s, maybe even early 60s, I felt. Whereas the Empire was mid-70s, and I thought that was cool.
Well, it's supposed to take
because
place
they
around
so
the
so
same
they
time.
and so they still have some decent technology. But also I felt like that the corporation still has good technology, but that the Empire is light years ahead of everyone.
Well, because they can just take what they want,
Including the corporation, right?
So, I like the fact that he's just like, look, we're here to do a job. Just make up a fucking story. They were too low level people. They weren't of any kind.
Yeah,
of,
that guy too, by the way, who I think I've seen in every Tony Gilroy project. I'm pretty sure that guy's appeared somewhere. That guy with the mustache.
He's just the bad guy in the beginning.
At the beginning, I thought that's who you were talking about. The guy.
No. I'm talking about the head of security.
Yes, that's who I'm talking about. The guy, he had a mustache, you son of a bitch.
I thought he had a beard.
Fucking dude, no. Well, he might have had a beard, but does a beard disqualify a mustache?
No.
No, it doesn't.
All right. So I like that whole he's a bureaucrat. He's just I'm going through the motions. I've got to do this big security kind of comset thing.
Minus 5 points, by the way. The more I think about it, I'm sorry, I tuned out because you tried to have a mustache disqualified from a beard. So that's a minus 5 points for you.
Okay, fine.
Please go on to your point. I won't focus on it anymore.
Okay.
Hold on, another minus 5. I was still thinking about it, but that's the last time I think about it.
Okay,
What the hell were you saying?
I was saying that I like the bureaucracy because what we haven't seen in Star Wars, the original trilogy, is basically authoritarian. We need to get these things done, get it done. We need these people killed, kill them. And this guy's just well, it's not really worth dedicating the resources for this sort of thing. And then what you were going on about with Dale Cooper or Niedermeyer, he's an ideologue, and he believes in this
fucking Aryan Nazi, if you ask me. But go ahead.
But and he wants to press this because clearly he wants to make a name for himself. He's got
no
high
doubt
aspirations and all that stuff. So when he's putting the pressure on all of these workers, he can. Because it's something familiar. This is clearly was his first off-world, off-corporation.
He froze. He choked.
Mission.
Question. I want to make a prediction. What's that character's name? Do we have any name?
You
need to make a goddamn fucking character glossary and a planet glossary for this show. Okay. And you're going to bring in a chart next week for the Yaddle Chattles.
Okay.
But really, you're doing it for Darth David. Okay? So, Jedi Jared, another minus 5 points for you because you weren't really prepared today.
Okay.
Now, predictions for that character, for Agent Cooper. Kyle MacLachlan.
I think
Niedermeyer.
I think he's either going to get fired by the corporation for getting all these men killed.
Fired.
And then recruited into the Empire.
Okay. We are similar and vastly different because your way sucks. Okay, another 10 points. Because your way, fired, that's a Star Wars thing to do. We're going to have the guy fucking fill out a pink slip.
Well,
no.
I mean,
you said fired, not me.
Yeah, I think he's going to get fired.
That's a fucking lame as shit. So he's going to get, he'll get brought into the office. And the goddamn fucking corporation lady's going to be there, the HR lady, and she's going to be sitting in the corner, and then the guy with the mustache is like, we're going to have to tell you, we're going to have to let you go.
Yeah.
We're going to have to let you go, sir.
Yeah.
That's not dramatic, is what I'm saying. You get killed. You get killed for a fuck up, but that's not going to happen either. What's going to happen is Agent Cooper is probably going to get in trouble for doing his shit.
Yes.
But rather than be killed, he's going to backstab his entire fucking corporation to the Empire as his job or his goal will be to become mini young Tarkin. He's going to see himself as fuck this corporation because the Empire's going to learn about this incident. You're absolutely right about that. And the Empire's going to say, what the hell are you guys doing over there? Guess like you guys can't take care of your goddamn solar system. And now we got to come in. He's going to see the writing on the wall, and he's going to start backstabbing and selling people out left and right. The pudgy guy is going to get sold out by
you
him.
think so?
Absolutely. And the old guy is going to get sold out by him, and that little weasel will wind up being an Imperial commander.
Okay.
You watch what happens with this guy.
Nah, he's probably...
He's going to backstab. Because I've heard on... By the way, love Rebel Force Radio.
Okay.
And I did hear their show, and Jimmy Mack thought this guy is going to be... He made a prediction where he said this guy is going to be a rebel spy.
Oh, really?
He predicted that this guy will be doing some backstabbing, but for the good guys, that he will join the Alliance.
Huh.
I thought, I can't see that, though. By the way, we love Rebel Force Radio. They're the #1 show in the galaxy in the podcasting. Yaddle, Chattle. We're just two pieces of New Jersey shit, baby. But we bring the fire, bring the Star Wars fire each and every day. Although we're not a daily show, we're a weekly show. So we bring the fire, each and every week. Okay, go ahead.
No, I think he'll remain the bad guy because he's
seems way too bad to me.
Yeah,
way too bad.
I can't see him doing the heel turn to face.
I mean, anything is possible. I do think he's a rat. But I think his ratness is I fucked up. I'm not going to take excuses. How do I give them other people rather than my head? And then how can I angle that to getting a job
That
for the
might be
Empire?
it. I think that might be it.
Boom. Now we'll see who's right. We'll see who's right about Agent Cooper. Other characters. Let's do a little other character talk.
I liked Wally.
How about the girl? Oh, okay. Let's talk Wally first. Love Wally. I loved first of all, just a small B2, just a small little thing.
But it gave off Wally vibe.
100%.
Like there's a scene
even to the point where the first time we saw him, he was in a junkyard.
Yeah, I'm like,
where the planet looked exactly like Wally. But what I'll say about this is,
I love that you got what I was saying.
Oh, 100%. But he is an astromech droid. I'm assuming an earlier version of an R2. Or R5 unit. I'm assuming he's an astromech droid. Why I'm saying that is because it's the first time that we've seen an astromech droid, to my knowledge, speak English. Chopper doesn't. R5 doesn't, the red one. R2-D2 doesn't.
GG didn't.
Astromech droids do not typically speak English. BB-8. They're all bleeps and bloops.
Yeah.
I liked it! Having an astromech. See, sometimes it's something so small. Something so small you don't need to overthink and kill Luke Skywalker. You don't need to fucking kill Luke Skywalker to make something small and different. You just gotta do it. Give the Dave Van an astromech goddamn droid to speaking English for the first time. I love the fact that he was buffering and he would tell us and his head would go up and down and be like, okay, 1 second, I have to buffer. I like the fact that I thought he was joking when Cassie's like, can you make a lie for me? And he's like, well, what would you have me say? And he's like, tell him this and then tell him that. And he goes, that's 2 lies. And while that was a joke, that was actually, he meant something.
It's logic.
Well, because it was going to take him energy to create 2 lies. So he said, I'm going to have to go back and charge myself on the way home in order to create that second lie. So he literally meant like, I can create 2 lies, but it's going to cost a lot of, it's going to a lot of data, a lot of processing, a lot of technological bullshit. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's a good character.
So
good droid.
What did you
love a good droid?
What did you make of the whole Lord of the Flies kids?
We're doing characters first.
Oh, characters.
You established you want to just do a goddamn run of the characters. Okay. So that's what we're doing. Okay. Now we did we just did B2 and we did Kyle MacLachlan. Now we're going to do the lady.
Okay.
Bix, I believe.
Yeah.
The very controversial lady who was putting on her pants.
And made coffee.
At one point.
And drinks coffee.
Excuse me, it's called calf.
Calf. Sorry, caffeine.
Okay?
Calf.
Understand what the goddamn coffee is called.
Okay.
It's called calf, you son of a bitch.
Calf.
Putting on her pants. What do you think about that?
Well, this is supposed to be an adult Star Wars.
Hey, why were her pants off? This is what I'm going to say.
I think her...
was she swimming or something?
I think
I got kids and I'll have to explain to them why are pants off. I say it happens sometimes, kids. You're just walking in the supermarket and your pants are missing.
Well,
you don't know how it happened. You're buying eggs and milk and everyone's like, where are your pants? I don't know.
Well, what about she was going to sleep, so it's in the context of going to sleep, you take your pants off.
Okay.
Or you wake up with
All right.
your pants.
What'd you think about Bix overall? Good character? Bad character?
Good character. We'll see what happens with her. Because
one thing, I was confused. In the flashbacks, the Lord of the Flies flashbacks, she was shot. She was the one who was shot, right?
I'm not 100% sure about that.
I'm pretty sure she was. The Bix was the girl who was in charge.
I don't think she's dead.
Well, that's what I'm saying. At first, I thought she was dead. She looked like she was dead, but maybe they got her and she's still alive. Secondly, all right, let's go into a different character and use this as a way to explore the Lord of the Rings scenario. What's her name? Marla? Marma? The lady, the aunt from Harry Potter.
Yeah, the surrogate mom to Andor.
Right. What do you think about her? She shows up in a lot of stuff that I watch. She showed up... I watched True Blood, the vampire show. She was on that. She's in the Harry Potter.
She's a pretty good character actress.
Yeah, she's all over the place. All right, what do you think about her?
I thought it was very interesting because she doesn't usually play the good guy. She usually plays like the uppity.
She's a good character. You know why? And I mean this as a compliment. Bit weird looking. Now that's gonna offend people, isn't it?
She's very English looking.
Okay, how about this? Odd looking. She's an odd, strange English-looking person.
She's a funny-looking fella?
Yeah. So, I actually say that in a complimentary way. Because every time I see her on screen, she's got some weird, creepy factor.
It's
you're unsettled by her in almost everything she does. What did you think about her?
I thought it was a nice departure from her playing, the bad guy.
Okay, but how about the fact that she wants to take this kid?
Well, she didn't.
I agreed with the guy who was with her. Her boyfriend, I suppose, her husband, whoever that guy was, I agree with him. And he's like, there's people out there, like they're literally outside.
Well, they didn't know about all the Lord of the Flies.
Didn't think, so your first impulse is to kidnap a child rather than, I wonder if he has family or a tribe. Maybe we should go find them. She just takes him?
I mean, if a parent was letting their kid do what he was doing.
Is that what she did?
I think she thought she was rescuing him.
And
you think?
Another prediction. She not only saves Cassian, she saves all those kids.
Okay.
That's what's going to happen.
Probably.
What's going to happen is Cassian's going to wake up and he's like, hello, you literally just kidnapped me off my planet. No, we were saving you, little one. And he's like, okay, there's like 25 other kids that are now going to be left to die. And she goes back and she gets at least some of the kids. Because how else the hell did Bix get off the planet?
I don't know.
Boom.
We're going to find out.
I think she saves all the kids, but Cassian is the one that she was closest to and does raise him like a son.
Probably.
Okay? But I think that you're going to find that she was the savior of the Lord of the Flies children.
Or that they got there too late because obviously his sister's not around.
True.
So.
We're going to see the sister. We're going to see the sister, but...
Well, she's probably working for the Rebel Alliance too.
Is that your prediction?
That's my prediction.
Well, I mean, how about, calling it a prediction? From now on, you have to go like this. I have a Star Wars prediction!
Okay. I have a Star Wars prediction!
Excellent. What is it again?
That Andor's sister is already working for the Rebel Alliance.
Okay. I have a Star Wars prediction! That Cassian Andor's sister is actually working for the Empire! And the first time he needs to infiltrate a base, the first time he needs to sneak into some sort of Imperial building, prison, what have you, it's to rescue his sister. Ooh, twin sister. No, it's to, that is my actual prediction. Cassian will learn that she's been taken by the Empire.
So she's not a member of the Empire, but
She's not a member by the Empire. She's somehow been taken by the Empire, arrested by the Empire. Could be a commonplace thief, similar to Cassian, but in any event, he's gonna have to find her. But she is not correct. She might be working. I'm just gonna say this: he needs to rescue her from the Empire. Maybe she didn't know any better, and she's in the school because she's in the academy or something like that.
Technically, Bix is working for the Rebel Alliance before, right? She's kind of like
seems that way,
or like Rebel
she at
Alliance.
least is working with Stellan Skarsgård, and what Stellan Skarsgård is doing is trying to begin the Rebel Alliance, or at least participate in the beginnings of the Rebel Alliance.
Well, I think we're eventually, hopefully, we'll get to see Jimmy Smits as Bail Organa.
I'm assuming we will.
I know that we're gonna get to see Mons Mothra and see how she's like
Mon Mothma.
Mon Mothra.
Who the hell is Mon Mothra? The redhead lady?
Yeah.
Her name is Mon Mothma.
Mon Mothma?
Mon Mothma. Look it up.
I thought it was Mons Mothra.
Do you know how much Yaddle heads hate you? And I can't blame them. Yaddle heads, I can't blame you. Mon Mothma.
Mon Mothma.
They're gonna think we never watched Star Wars with comments
watched-
like this.
I mean, you've watched it.
How many times did you watch Andor? I watched it 2.5.
I watched it a whole time once, and then another half a time.
I watched it twice all the way through, and then I even started it again last night and got midway through the second episode. That's where I get my 2.5 number
I'll
from.
probably rewatch the first 3 episodes again.
Other characters. Stellan Skarsgård.
Oh,
we just went into him.
So I think
we need this glossary. You need to do this. That is your project for next week. I want the goddamn glossary of peoples and planets. Thank you.
Okay.
And the names of important things like corporations and stuff.
Okay, you got it.
I want a copy for you and a copy for me.
Okay. You want it collated?
I would love a collated type of item.
Okay.
Now we're talking class. That's what Yaddle fucking Chattle deserves.
Okay. Okay. All right. Fine.
Okay. So Stellan Skarsgård.
Yes.
What about him?
I think
great character, great actor. We knew what we were gonna get with this guy. He's a great actor.
I think he's the kind of the foot soldier. Not so much foot soldier. I think Cassian's gonna be a foot soldier.
Yeah.
But he's kind of like the Sarge guy.
Yeah.
The Lee Marvin in the Dirty Dozen kind of.
Hannibal. On the 80s.
Yes.
He's that. Yeah, that's who he is.
He's not the bureaucrat.
Oh, here's who I love, though. I love the little British guy with the hat and the tie who kind of reminded me of the down and out, he has bad luck salesman guy from The Simpsons. Who is
Gil?
Yeah, Gil.
Which is Jack Lemmon.
Jack Lemmon and Glengarry Glen Ross. But even though this guy was like a little British guy and stuff, he reminded me of that. Like, I'm pretty sure if that fucking flight was 15 minutes longer, he was going to try and sell some, like, space watches to Stellan Skarsgård. Did you see that? Like, I was like, hello, may I sit here? And he's just like, you could see Stellan Skarsgård like, I don't want company. But he's a nice guy. He's part of the Rebels. He's not going to just shit all over this dude. But I think we're going to see him again.
You think so?
Don't ask me why. I do, and I look forward to seeing that. Gil. I am going to just call that guy Gil. I look forward to seeing Gil again. I don't know. I feel like I enjoyed that guy. I liked a lot of the details of it. I think that I've seen overall a lot of positive reviews and a lot of positive vibes
because it's different.
But I want to get to that point in a second. But I will say that some people were saying, not enough action, not enough action. The third episode was great. That action sequence was phenomenal. With the things falling down and then the shootout in the city and this and that.
I think it was a slow burn. I think we're going to see a lot more action as the series picks up, but he kind of had to establish everything because this is a different kind of Star Wars.
Yeah. And the action, I'll say this, just because there's not always, lasers and lightsabers and whatnot, there was action in the old brain. That's tension and suspense, which Tony Gilroy does very, very well. His action is more psychological. You got to be thinking, you got to be on your toes mentally. If you are, then that's sort of where the action comes from. That, or should I say, that's where the adrenaline comes from. The adrenaline in a Tony Gilroy story comes from the suspense and almost setting up the action. Similar to like Quentin Tarantino. Everyone says that Quentin Tarantino is the most violent director of all time. You go back and look at his movies, watch Pulp Fiction. The body count is very low. It's that his setting up these huge explosive moments of action is so well done with the tension that then you feel like, oh my God, the Tarantino thing was so violent. It really wasn't that violent. It was that the tension setup was so invigorating and captivating that then you feel like there's more action or violence than there is. And I think Tony Gilroy does a great job with that.
Yo, absolutely. I think that, again, I thought it was I would agree to a certain extent that the first 2 episodes were slow, but like I said before, he's trying to establish this whole, like, a bureaucracy, and bureaucracy has red tape, so it takes a while, and a lot of these guys aren't used to being forced to do more than their allotted job. Like, that guy is basically, he's an air traffic controller, and now this fucking guy wants him to do even more work than he's currently doing.
Right. That guy should quietly quit and say, look, I'm quietly quitting. I've searched for the guy, and I'm not doing anything else. You need to shoot me out of a fucking cannon into space and have me freeze and then blow up, that's fine. Because I'm quietly quitting this goddamn corporation, sir. Okay? I've had it! I've had it, boss! Well, let me ask you a question. Because I was thinking characters. Cassian has that one, is that man a friend? Or who is that one gentleman who he asked to cover for him at the beginning in episode 1, there was a construction guy.
He's like
just a friend, right?
So
or is he one of the Lord of the Flies kids?
No, he is, I guess, her husband that she married later on. Like,
I'm not so sure about that. We never saw him with her.
No, but he goes.
Oh, he also didn't look that old. He looked almost like only a few years older than Cassian.
Yeah, but he tells him he's like,
tell your mother to put the heat back on.
Yeah.
But I was even
maybe
confused.
If it's not her husband, then like it's her actual birth son, and that like that's Cassian's like surrogate brother.
Little confused as to who he is. Can we get an explanation about that? I don't know.
He does.
See, you think that he's a stepdad.
He's either a stepdad or her actual son. If he's not, if you think,
then they needed to show the stepdad with the mom, because I seriously didn't. I was assuming that maybe that was the case, but then I was like, I don't think so, because she feels like she's 10, 15 years older than that. I mean, it doesn't matter. I guess age is just a number, so yeah, she could be. But
he said, "Tell mother."
Tell your mother. Tell your mother to turn the heat back on.
Then it's her son. Oh, well.
Tell your mother to turn the heat back on is what the guy said to Cassian.
So it might be.
Again, I think you were kind of right about him possibly being a stepdad, but we didn't see one time where that guy and
she's
Marla,
home.
Whatever, like, we didn't see one time where they interacted.
Well, she was home and he's at work.
Yeah, I don't know.
We might see more of that in the next episode.
Just let me know who the hell he is.
Okay.
Please.
This will be in the glossary.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other big characters? I think we've named.
I really liked Montgomery Scott.
Who's that?
The Scottish guy, Scotty.
Oh, that guy was great.
I felt like
that guy was great. I'm telling you, the corporation's working for me. Their blue outfits, everything about it is working for me. I like it. It's a risky thing to do something like that, because honestly,
I don't know,
if you don't pull it off, it comes across as very shitty, light Empire. It could have come across as shitty Empire, and instead, to me, it makes sense. It's logical and it's fun.
Yeah, but you see, I think it works in the sense that in every company, there's always one guy who takes his job way too seriously.
Yeah.
And you see that with Dale Cooper because he's modified his uniform.
Yeah, I love that
to
part.
make it look like more snappy.
It was tighter. Yeah, he wanted to get he wanted a less baggy thing, and he wanted to be, he wanted those clothes tight right on him, and that obviously is about him being Mr. Discipline.
So
I agree. I think the
that-
corporation's great, and I think Scotty's fantastic.
Scotty's great. I was like, I know that Simon Pegg is like a name actor, like a big name actor.
Oh, they should have went with that guy.
This guy is perfect to play
Simon Pegg was too
young,
skinny.
a young Scotty.
Yeah, I mean, Simon Pegg was a little thin for Scotty.
Like this guy would make a perfect Montgomery Scott in a Star Trek movie.
He's Scotty. That guy, I love the part where that guy gave that incredible speech.
Well, because
and then the guy comes out and just totally chokes. And the one of the workers, like actually rolled his eyes or did a deep breath. Like he was like, while Agent Cooper was talking, the guy was like, oh God, this guy sucks.
Well, Scotty is everything Dale Cooper wants to be.
But it's weird. Again, I don't think this is inconsistency. Don't forget that Scotty was, though, first inspired with the fact that Agent Cooper was yelling at people, telling what to do.
Because Scotty has to actually deal with this shit on a day-to-day basis. Like, he's actually in the field dealing with those two assholes that get killed in the beginning. He's interacting with those type of guys.
Scotty's a good rah-rah. He's a good motivation guy.
Well, because he...
Whereas Agent Cooper can yell, but it's really about yelling orders.
All right, so let me...
He's not going to motivate you, though.
Let me put it in perspective that, like, working in a factory.
Like a Bruce Springsteen song.
Yeah. Agent Cooper...
Working in an imperial factory, yeah. Ow!
Agent Cooper is a guy in the office.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And Scotty's kind of like a foreman that worked his way up from being like a
working in a factory, waiting right about me. Here sitting on the
That's Otis Redding.
That's Dock of the Bay.
Go ahead.
Scotty is the actual guy who's worked in the factory, worked his way up to being foreman. He knows all the guys.
That's right, he does.
So he knows what motivates these guys. Whereas Dale Cooper wants to be that motivating factor, but he's completely out of touch. That's why, like, Scotty's always barking the orders, and Dale Cooper chokes.
Yeah. No, I know. He chokes.
Because
he chokes.
This is the first time he's been in the field, and you can tell.
Well, it was amazing. All right. So are those all of our thoughts right now? I mean, so I mean, look, going forward, we have 9 episodes left. I think we might be done with this arc. I think he's going to be with Stellan Skarsgård now, and we're going to probably get to some sort of rebel headquarters. I'm not saying, well, it can't be Yavin, but I wouldn't think it would be Yavin, but I believe we're going to go on and meet some rebels now, yes. I think. And this could be where we finally get Mothma. Not Mons. What did you say? Mons Mothra?
Yeah, like
Mons Mothra.
Yeah.
I hate you. Minus 1,000 points for Mons Mothra. She ain't no goddamn fucking Egyptian god. She's a fucking Star Wars character. A senator, if you will. Overall, I am loving Andor. I am thinking Andor is very, very special. And here's my final comment on Andor. My final comment. Yeah, I think that Disney Plus is on fire with these series, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. Because now we have 4. The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Andor. And I honestly feel like each one feels different. Even though Book of Boba Fett they said this is a Mandalorian spinoff, so you're going to have some Mando crossover and this and that. I still feel like while Mando is like Western original trilogy that's what we're doing. Book of Boba Fett was, they looked at the Boba Fett cartoon in the holiday special and said, let's make this into a live action series. And I'm not complaining about that. I believe that's literally what they did. Let's have some fun. But because of that, what I'm saying is I loved Book of Boba Fett because I thought it was wildly entertaining and fun. Just good old-fashioned fun. Wasn't super deep, but it was fun for me. Rancors, Sarlacc pits, huts, all this stuff. Loved it. Obi-Wan Kenobi, emotional, beautiful. It resonated on a heart level. Thought it was exquisite. And now Andor, mystery, intrigue, suspense. We got 4 shows with 4 different vibes, again, in my opinion, and I think that's a great thing. I think it's going to keep Star Wars very, very fresh. You don't need to have every Star Wars be the same. And unfortunately, the people who complain and they want something a certain way, you can't have it a certain way. Because if everything you always want is a certain way, Star Wars will get really stale really quick with the amount of content that they're pushing out right now. If everything is the same and we got a whole bunch of Jedi and Sith and a whole bunch of lightsabers and the Force and it's the same shit, it's going to get old quickly.
Did they mention the Force once?
I don't believe so. And again, I'm okay with this because
But that's very interesting.
Different.
Because it's may the Force be with you is kind of like very much about.
It's huge.
It's the spiritual. It's part of the spirituality of the galaxy.
Oh no, obviously.
And no one mentions the Force.
No,
once.
and they did mention it in Rogue One, obviously with Kieran Bays, with the Force is with me, I am one with the Force. Not a lot of Force talk in Solo, but yeah, zero Force talk. But they are showing that in Star Wars, in this epic galactic struggle between good and evil, it's not just about the Sith and Jedi. That there were millions, if not billions, of people involved in this struggle. And we're going to show you some stories of some of the other folks involved. They did that. They laid the groundwork with that philosophy with Rogue One. It was a massive success, and they're just continuing it. And I love it.
Now that
Thumbs up for the first 3 episodes for me. For Andor, and I'm very excited to see where this series goes. I am. That's the bottom line.
2 9 thumbs up.
2 9 thumbs up, thus far.
Okay.
Do we have a Star Wars? What do you have there?
All right. Hold on. Okay. So last week we talked about Contrarian. Contrarian brought up how he's basically
Yaddlehead. He's one of the listeners.
Yes.
Okay.
He was talking about how he's been completely disgusted since Disney bought out Star Wars.
Yes.
So he's adding to the discussion that we had last
and
week.
I've said before that I love all things Star Wars, and while I have certain creative issues with some of the things that they did in Episode 8, overall I like all things Star Wars. But then he said, how can you like it? And I understand the points.
So to follow up with that discussion, he goes, excellent and fair discussion, dads. My gripe was indeed mostly with the sequel films, which I thought were beyond bad, pretty much unwatchable, due to the trademark J.J. Abrams style mystery box, dangle the keys in front of the cat, screenplays and character motivations.
He does love that mystery box, that J.J. Abrams.
You seem to grant that the sequel trilogy...
That guy should have never done the TED Talk where he discussed his fucking mystery box. Goddamn fucking philosophy.
I've never watched it.
That's where everyone
really
came
angry.
from. That's where everything comes from. He delivered a TED Talk where he's like, this is everything that I believe in storytelling. A mystery box. And pretty much that was it. It's like, as long as you have a mystery box, you have a story. And everyone's like, what's a mystery box? And basically it's a new word for MacGuffin. Okay? The concept has been around for 60 or 70 years,
Hitchcock.
Going back to Hitchcock, who invented the MacGuffin. J.J. Abrams rebranded it as the mystery box because I guess the nuance is instead of MacGuffin, okay, we know what we're going about. J.J. Abrams, we sort of know what we're going at. We know we have to go after something. We're just not sure what that something is. So that's the difference between a MacGuffin and a mystery box is the MacGuffin,
You
here's the item,
Well,
it's the lost ark, and Indiana Jones has to go after it.
It's
the mystery arcs is, well, Indiana Jones is going after something. We're just not sure what it is.
It's the literal MacGuffin.
But it's a question mark MacGuffin. It's like Indy needs to get something, but we don't know what.
Oh, that's so stupid.
And that is literally the difference in my, Davey Mack, who's taken 20 film courses in his life and never gotten below an A. Don't ask me what I got in Spanish. Fucking 0.0. Don't ask me what I got in calculus. You know why? I missed 23 goddamn classes and was told, you flunked calculus, Dave man.
Oh, God.
Oh, and don't think chemistry and biology were that good either. In fact, college, I'm talking about, I was a fucking categorical failure, except for film classes. Never got below an A. Can you believe that?
I can believe that.
Oh.
So this is what he says is, so Dave man, as you know from wrestling cards, you can't fuck up the main card of a huge fight and expect the ham and eggers not to get annoyed.
All right,
even with quality
truth.
undercards. Especially not if the main card is made up of soon to retire or die legends. The sequel trilogy was a colossal disjointed train wreck, which I agree with.
I think the disjointed part is accurate.
And you know what? I was actually having a conversation with a friend of mine about this the other night. I brought up Contrarian in our discussion, and he had made the argument that when Disney bought Lucasfilm, and you had mentioned, and my friend had mentioned that basically George kind of gave points of where he thought that the story should go for the sequel trilogy.
Yes,
they thought that they were saving George from himself. that was the argument that they were making, because they had seen how much the prequel trilogy had been very tepidly received.
Yeah,
they didn't want
it was a major miscalculation on Disney's part when they bought Lucasfilm right out of the gate. They felt like the prequel trilogy was the biggest piece of shit that ever was perpetrated on the movie-going public, and wanted to distance themselves so much from the prequel trilogy and the guy who did the prequel trilogy, which happened to be George Lucas. That is the truth, and you know it. And then, when they saw how well the prequel trilogy has actually matured, aged, and grown with people, and the fact that the 10-year-old prequel trilogy fans are now 30-year-olds with a lot of disposable income, they go, oh, we fucked that up. George Lucas basically recreated a whole nother magical trilogy for a generation of children, and they love it, and there's billions of dollars to make, and we just fucked it up. Sorry, George. That's why, again, if you ask me, every single time you see a documentary or this or that,
they have to put George
they put George in it now. Because it's we're sorry. You're still mad? We hope you're not mad at us for fucking up your movies anymore and shutting you out and basically mocking your prequel trilogy, even though now we realize everyone loves it.
So I'll finish up with love this show, even if I'm skeptical of Disney Star Wars.
Thank you.
And love Davey Mack's sports program.
Oh, thank you.
Even though I don't watch sports.
Thank you. You don't need to watch sports to enjoy the Davey Mack sports program. That's for you. Never really have to be a fan of any of the topics that we talk about, in my opinion.
Okay. He says, and I look forward to working with you on your 7th new podcast, Malick Smart Alex, where you and I discuss the filmography of Terrence Malick.
Oh, I love Terrence Malick. The Thin Red Line and Badlands and many fantastic, well, actually not many. He was actually known to be a reclusive director who's only directed 4 movies. So take back the many part.
Maybe it'll be a mini-series.
But Terrence Malick, Thin Red Line is one of the greatest war movies of all time. Asks some very big existential questions. Highly recommended. Anyway,
we got to move on to our cage match.
This is it. We have a cage match. We've been on the air for goddamn 3 hours already. Let's go.
So we have a
Final.
We have a cage match now coming in from Mr. The Michael Moore.
Well, first of all, Michael Moore, The Michael Moore from Flint, Michigan, who wears the baseball hats?
No, the Michael Moore that emailed us before.
Oh, fuck. Wait, now you make me look like a jerk to our Michael Moore.
Well, no, he's our Michael Moore.
But the Michael Moore is the guy with the hat from Flint, Michigan.
No, that's that fat fuck who makes okay documentaries.
I was trying not to go political to alienate 50% of the fans.
I didn't go. I said he makes okay documentaries.
All right, fair enough.
I didn't get political. He is fat, and he's an asshole.
He's a big guy, isn't he?
He's a great big fat person.
Yeah. I always thought his face looked like a Doonesbury character, though.
I could see that.
Certain people look like Doonesbury characters to me.
Elizabeth Moss.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
She always cut like when I love her. I love Mad Men. I think she's a great actress, but she kind of does remind me of a Doonesbury character.
And then Sirius XM had this vice president who is a fucking boring,
please.
no brain, unimaginative
David,
piece of shit
just got to the
called
cage match.
Steve Blatter. By the way, I mean, perfect name for a guy. He's a fucking bag of piss. Steve Blatter. Fucking Steve Bag of Piss. Anyway,
right,
Google his name if you can find him. Because Steve Blatter of SiriusXM legitimately looks like every Doonesbury character you have ever seen. Like, he is the most Doonesbury character come to real life because it's a very specific thing. It's a
nose.
long, thin nose.
Yes.
And little beady fucking Weasley eyes that make you look like a shifty, shady fucking asshole type of character who goes, I'm gonna invent a new channel for SiriusXM. Let's see. Who's a good band? The Rolling Stones. Yeah, let's have a Rolling Stones channel. Well, I guess my general manager job is done for the day. It's like, that's the easiest fucking thing to do. Let's see, Pink Floyd's a good band. Let's do a Pink Floyd channel. Guess I can be a GM. Fucking another one of these goddamn fucking people who reminds me of the fucking Kyle MacLachlan from the goddamn Corporate Authority. All hairdo and no fucking brain and no fucking heart. Just a propensity to choke and be a fucking dickless piece of shit. That's what Kyle MacLachlan is of the Corporate Authority. In my personal opinion. Now, what's the goddamn fucking cage match? You got me all riled up here.
Ventress versus Cad Bane.
Ventress versus Cad Bane. Now, has Ventress been in a cage? She's been in a cage match before. I'm trying not to repeat cage match participants.
I get that, but you know it is. I'll make the argument.
Since it was submitted by a Yaddle head, I'm gonna let it pass.
Okay.
I want you to make sure for at least a little bit that we're not repeating cage match contestants until a length of time where we're going to have to.
Okay.
I mean, we just had Ventress in a cage match about 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think she's a very heavily underutilized character, and
Let me just ask you one quick question. I was the one who guilted you into watching the Clone Wars animated series because you haven't watched it, correct?
Yeah, and now I'm watching Rebels.
What season?
I just started season 1 of Rebels.
You didn't tell me that. Why did you tell me that?
I was saving it for the show.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, because we're going to have to do some Rebels talk soon. But
I was actually going to ask you.
No, we're not doing it today.
No, but not anything regarding Rebels in the sense of the show, but do you think we're going to see any Rebels pop up in Andor?
Yes, we're going to see some Rebels pop up in Andor, yes. We're going to see either Hera or Chopper or somebody. But what was I talking about? God, you're the fucking king.
Me watching Clone Wars.
Since you have watched Clone Wars,
yes,
you have brought up Ventress every single week. And here's where Yaddle Chattle is different from Rebel Force Radio and other podcasts because they can't really talk like this. Unfortunately, we can and we have to. This is a very serious question. Treat me like an inquisitor.
Okay.
Have you jerked off to Ventress?
No.
Okay. Are you in love with Ventress?
No.
Okay. Have you masturbated to her?
No.
Okay. I tried to trick you. You see, I just tried the same question two different ways there.
Yes.
Okay. Because I am gonna go. Because the Yaddle heads who are paying attention have known that you keep bringing up Ventress, and I think why? Why do you think it's a great character?
Because she used to be good. She's kind of bad. And
sexy.
There's the Knights.
Sexy alien? Sexy alien that Jared likes?
No.
Sexy, ooh, boo-boo, boo-boo, bibi, baba. Ooh, booba, bibi. You know, I don't know. I'm doing some kind of Star Wars type of thing. I'm like that guy. When I see a sexy woman, I'm the guy from Phantom Menace who had Anakin, you know, his little junk shop.
Watto?
Yeah. Ooh, look at Ventress. Ooh, sexy. Oh, yeah, sexy alien lady, shaved head, Angelina Jolie in the face.
You do a really good Watto impression.
They did take Angelina Jolie's face, shaved her head, made her an alien. Okay, you can't convince me about that.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, they did. They want fucking Ventress in real life. They got her. Angelina Jolie's out there. It's the same person.
I could see that.
Especially considering Clone Wars was 2006 or whatever like that. Angelina Jolie's on top of the world. That's who. Oh, come on.
No, I could see that. Totally see that.
All right. Ventress versus who?
Cad Bane.
Oh my God, I love Cad Bane. In a Star Wars cage match.
And we've used Cad Bane a lot too because he's such a great character.
Yeah, we've used him in a cage match.
Yes.
Cad Bane.
I think we had him taking on Jango Fett.
I gotta say Cad Bane. And I gotta say Cad Bane because I think he's just a little bit smarter than Ventress. They're both great characters. They're both quite lethal. I think in the end, for me, I feel like Cad Bane has a few more IQ points. And when it's an even physical matchup, the IQ points matter. Jared?
I think that Cad Bane he's only taken on Jedis, and Jedis show restraint.
Yeah.
Where he hasn't really taken on Sith people.
Dark side users.
So
She's not a Sith.
She's not a Sith. She's dark side adjacent.
Thank you.
And they're typically ruthless, and they'll force choke.
Cad Bane won't play dirty?
Oh no, he totally plays dirty. I'm just saying that he's never had to, face a dark side of the Force.
So, what's your pick?
Ventress.
Holy shit! And his fucking crush continues. His goddamn little fucking girlfriend, Ventress, is out there. And by the way, next week on Yaddle Chattle, it's a Ventress special.
No, we're not doing that. We gotta talk.
All Ventress all the time.
We gotta talk.
Forget about Andor.
We have to talk Andor.
Episode 4.
We haven't even talked Tales of the Jedi.
You are so into Tales from the Jedi. I can't get into animated shorts. I can't. I will watch it, okay? It's not that I won't. But, I can't get into... How about Mando Season 3 trailer?
We could talk about that.
Did you see it? Did you watch it?
No, not yet. I've been watching everything else.
It's 2 minutes! The trailer's 2 fucking minutes!
Would you just cue up the other thing, please?
You could have watched it when you were on the shitter, like a proper fucking Star Wars fan.
Okay, fine. I'm sorry.
By the way, the winner of the Star Wars cage match would be Cad Bane. Give myself 15 points for predicting the accurate participant. Minus 35,000 for Jared.
Can you cue up the outro
In
music?
a very
and I'll go through the other
poor
stuff. So if you have questions or comments or any kind of theories, please email them to yaddlechattle@gmail.com.
That's right. What else?
I'll take that while you focus.
No,
on
I
that.
got it.
Oh, are you sure? Okay.
Yeah, you're the plug person anyway.
Okay. You can follow Eastside Dave on...
I'm still mad about all these goddamn fucking insane comments that you had today. You didn't watch a trailer. That's 120 seconds long. And you're I mean, let's be honest. You're fetishizing Ventress right now. And I don't know if the Yaddleheads are cool with that.
Okay, well, you can let me know at yaddlechattle.com or yaddlechattle@gmail.com. You can leave a comment on the YouTube page, Eastside Dave TV. Like, subscribe. You can follow Dave across all social media platforms at Eastside Dave.
That's right.
And then you can also check out eastsidedavecountry.com.
That's the website. Plenty of videos, podcasts, shows, content, announcements, all kinds of things. What?
I would also like to throw a shout out.
Oh my God.
Follow Scad Arts on Instagram.
Who?
His name's Scad Arts.
Scad Arts.
Yeah.
And what does Scad Arts do?
So he takes like Star Wars related stuff and he kind of puts like a Victorian or a medieval twist on it.
Oh, that's cool.
So he does that.
Well, I mean, you're
Look at
showing
that.
it to me.
Well,
I
yeah.
know that
But
we don't...
the point is to
I
follow
know-
him on Instagram.
Isn't that beautiful? All right. Thanks for making the plug segment a bizarre mishmash of word bullshit.
Well,
Because you don't fucking plug the guy and then plug somebody else. And it's just a disjointed... Basically, what Star Wars did with the sequel trilogy, that's what you just did with the plugs.
Okay, well now thank you for explaining that. See,
You do one fucking plug, like one theme
look,
at a time.
I didn't go to an actual broadcasting.
Oh, hell no, you didn't.
So I'm at the Eastside Davy Mac Broadcasting School.
Which is a goddamn frightening school to attend.
okay.
Okay?
Well, that's great. I've got shit I've got to do. So.
Okay, so listen. We will see you next week for Yaddle Chattle. Good night, everybody!